Part 2 of 20th of September 2024. I know. I got cut off by iPhone storage again. It really is that kind of upsetting and annoying, but on we go and on we go. I was trying to show you a photo of Sophie Cat, and I was trying to work out what she was standing on as she was staring at me into my eyes. But here she is anyway. We're actually sitting, I must be sitting on the side of the bath and she must be sitting on my lap or something. But it's a bit bizarre. But she was a lovely girl. Miss Sophie, 20th of September 2015. So, 20th of September 2023. We have a photo of Charlie, who was assiduously chewing my Havana thongs, which have still got gaping holes in them, but I don't actually care. That's all her handiwork there, chomping bits of rubber out. She had a grand old time. I'm still wearing them though, because waste not, want not, and they're thongs, and who cares. I visited Dave and Margot a couple of months back wearing those thongs, and I took them off before I went into their house. So Dave came in looking all sheepish and said, "Rosie's chewed on your thongs." I went, "No, it wasn't Rosie." I said, "Don't blame Rosie." He said, "Who ate them?" I went, "Charlie." And he just looked at me and goes, "You're still wearing them?" And I went, "They still work. They're a bit beaten up and chewed up, but I don't care." He laughed. I'm very ill today. This was 1 year ago. I had to ask my psychiatrist for a telehealth appointment. My gut and bladder are both severely acting out today. I feel like hell. Decided it's not a good idea to drive to his clinic. And even though all food and drink is flowing straight through me, I did a very unusual and risky thing. It was a bit odd actually what I did. I devoured half a container of Ben & Jerry's chocolate fudge cake ice cream. I hesitated to buy it yesterday, but today it tasted like heaven, even though it will scour through my insides like hell. Here's the funny thing though, after already being scoured like hell, but I don't know what brought that on, I held that ice cream down, the whole kilo container of it. I must have needed it. But anyway, I actually thought it was a mad kind of thing to do, given ice cream can make me very ill indeed. Brian, my psychiatrist, said it probably had something to do with, although I'm kind of lactose intolerant, that my body was craving that because I was already evacuated out. So anyway, odd, bit odd. I just wanted the taste and the memory and an almost psychotic defiance against my own ailing body. It's a gorgeous day. I'm lying in my hammock under the frangipani trees. I had to drag the hammock stand up as it was the only available shade. I'm listening to Kurt Jaimungal's Theories of Everything, his interview with Edward Frenkel. I don't always understand everything the mathematicians discuss, but it soothes my soul anyway. I move in and out of ordinary consciousness, flowing like the tides as I float out, in and out of my body, and rest somewhere in another paradigm. I am convinced that I'm dying for real this time. Yeah, I was convinced this time last year that I was cactus. I'm quite astonished to still be alive and making these videos, by the way. Which is funny, as I have died dozens of times and re-innovated myself. So if my gut settles down by late Friday night, I will be dancing along to alter egos. My own altered ego demands I dance to my own immolation, joyously, triumphantly, in full defiance of my own flagging mortality. I hope I make it. Oh, I'll be making it tonight, but then I'm not sick today. For once I'm not sick, just a little bit tired from concentrating hard, learning how to, twist the fleece into wool, but I'm happy and contented, and I learnt a new skill and very happy, and I'll have a rest later so that I'm refreshed when I go out tonight. Maybe old lady Ida is getting a bit disturbing, but she'll be right, mate, she'll be right. Just notice my nose ring's lost a lot of its colour. Probably time to shout myself a new one. I just got news that Paul Woseen of the Screaming Jets died on the 15th of September 2023, 56 years old. Cause of death undisclosed. We know what that usually means. Another sudden and unexpectedly horrific. May he find rest and peace with the Ein Sof all. May his family, friends, colleagues, business associates and fans be comforted. Fly free in the jet stream, dreaming. I just sent a text to Crystal telling her that I think I am dying. This illness has gone on for over 12 months, years actually. But the last few months have been harrowing. So I asked her to inform Jasmine that I want to see her one last time. Jasmine lives in Sydney now. It would be expensive for her to fly up to see me. She may prefer not to, waiting until after I have died. This is how I actually really did think I was going to die. I was even worrying about contingencies of whether I get to see my younger daughter one more time, which clearly she didn't want that anyway, so meh. And what was going to happen after I died. And I was making plans, people. I really thought it was that imminent. I respect her decision, as I felt the same way about my father and mother, although I stepped up to the mark to gift her the best funeral, etc., etc., which says more about me than it ever did about my evil, vicious, narcopathic mother. I just couldn't reward my father the same way. I was done. So I get it if Jasmine still refuses to see me, but in the throes of emotion, feeling fragile and realising Lady Death is not so far away this time, certainly not teasing as she usually does, I could not help but reach out in one final attempt for connection, which culminated in the end of my relationship with my older daughter, because she said, I'm sick of you always threatening to be dying. And it's kind of wicked of her, given that I have come close to death at least a dozen or more times since early infancy. So when I say I think I'm dying, I'm not actually being melodramatic or histrionic or hypochondriac. I've been there close enough to the edge to know that I'm very, very seriously ill. But anyway, 12 months on, I'm alive. I'm slightly better because I'm slightly responding to CPAP. 11 weeks yesterday. And, maybe in a couple more months' time, I might even be even healthier and even better. And then 6 months from then, which will give me the full 12 months, who knows where I might be, babies. Hopefully really healthy and really vibrant and living my best life more than ever before. Yes, we're working towards that goal. We are working towards that goal. So here I continue writing 1 year ago. I debriefed with my psychiatrist, who is hopeful that my bladder can be fixed with Botox. He is referring me to a new GP he highly recommends and trusts. I rang a clinic in Red Hill. I'm yet to hear back from them, as they had to confer with my psychiatrist. They refused to take me on as a patient, which was odd. But anyway, it is what it is. So here I continue writing. Hopefully I can get an appointment for tomorrow, or better yet Friday, as my cleaning lady comes tomorrow morning. So anyway, that was all a bit confusing and upsetting that they wouldn't take me on, but I see another GP now, not very often, but when I absolutely have to. And yes, I've got to book in and see my skin doctor because I'm due for a 6-monthly checkup, and I'm dreading that too, but you know, he's okay. I just try to put it off a bit because, yeah, it's painful getting skin cancers cut out, and I don't enjoy it, but it's that or the alternative, which is worse. 20th of September 2022. It's another gorgeous spring day. Charlie showered me with rainbow lorikeet kisses. This morning I finally shed a few tears for Queen Elizabeth, like a strange delayed reaction to grief for a queen I never met, and I suppose 70 years of matriarchy, if only as a figurehead. I found it quite astonishing that I was grieving over Queen Elizabeth II. Just shows you how, well, she'd been queen the entire time I'd been alive, so I suppose it's just out of some kind of cognition that it's the end of an era that dies with her, really. Also a fear of what life will be like under her son's sovereignty. The world has gone to the dogs, so we can only hope and pray that truly good and honourable people will win out in the end. Because I don't think King Charles is a bad person per se, although I've never quite forgiven him about wishing to be a tampon at one stage, but you know, there is that. It's a bit fucking creepy and seedy in my opinion, but you know, he married the woman he wished to be a tampon in, so I guess, you know, he got his wish in the end. But what I really miss is I don't think there'll be anyone quite as strong and as stoic and powerful as his mother, for example, Queen Elizabeth II. So it worried me greatly, actually, but so far so good. No terrible cataclysmic events have happened apart from the stuff that was already happening leading up to her death, so there is that. 20th of September 2021. I tried to make a floating heart, another failure, but I managed to transmute it into a pinky ring. Phew, it looks rather pretty, even with the flaws. Twentieth of September 2020. Picture of socks. Sitting perched up on my decoupage dining table. There is nothing to fear but fear itself, so saith my father, who instilled a great deal of horror and fear into me regardless. Him, and the rest of my evil family of origin. Is it any wonder that I became the person I am today? Broken but fierce, fearless but wary, with a righteous wrath that can burn down entire nations. So many in turn fear me. For what? For honouring my own existence, my truth, and my dance? Weird, innit? Especially as I'm mostly a good, kind, decent woman. Unless you persistently harm me, then look out. And that was in response to a post from the Lights of Kabbalah. Our Torah tells you that you must not fear. Even if an army is charging towards you, you must not fear. For there is no danger worse than fear. That's true, by the way. Most of the things we fear are just evaporate like mist in the bright light of day, are just illusory. Unless there's a tiger or an ex-husband with his hands on your throat, or has paid someone to put their hands on your throat, unless there is like absolute imminent danger, most things that we fear are not really all that real. Just mustn't give in to it. Must hold your line. They continue writing, which I don't have the whole text, which is annoying. But you are only human. Do you truly have control over the dread and panic pounding in your heart? And it goes on, but I don't have the rest of the text. But anyway, no, you don't always have control over the panic and the dread. You have to remind yourself that everything is an illusion. Sometimes, if you're suffering from a lot of anxiety, you just need to take a Valium and go to bed and let the whole day unravel all by itself, all around you, without your participation in it, until you feel a little bit more sanguine and comfortable, and then you get out and participate again in the world. But a lot of things are just anxieties that are heightened by, poor health or heartbreak or grief or, some other event that's tipped you kind of over the edge, and you mustn't give in to those. Mustn't let things like that destroy you. It's hard sometimes though. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. 20th of September 2019, 1:07 a.m. Lying in bed, freaking out about my liver pain. This was June, July, August, 3 months post-surgery. I've had pain and referred pain all day. Then I realised that it is only 12 weeks and 3 days since my surgery, and perhaps I have really pushed myself too hard. Perhaps I should just reach acceptance that this is my life now, that I've pushed through so much pain and suffering, both emotional and physical, but it is utterly okay to be a bit broken. I had another lovely day with Jared, and before he arrived in the afternoon, I listened to music and relaxed. I'm going to nurture myself even more. Life is beautiful, but short. I am grateful for the love I have been gifted with in the past week, and in some cases, for decades. It is all very good. Good night. Time to schloof again. 1:40 p.m. Just woke up. I had a long sleep. Needed it. Ow. Oh, that hurt. I'm trying to fast today to see if there is an improvement with my liver. I figure not eating might give it a rest. Otherwise, I may have to give in and see my doctor. The afternoon looks like we might get a storm and possibly some rain again. That would be lovely. Then I shared that meme again, the one I read out to you yesterday or the day before, High Holy Day seating request form. It's just so funny. I don't know why I kept sharing it, but anyway, it was probably a different year that I shared it. But I just find it so amusing. And I wrote, laughing my ass off. It's funny because it's true. 20th of September 2018. Bit of a rough night. I had bad asthma and got woken at 2:30 a.m. by Bobo vomiting in my bed. He's been sick for a few days now. I think it's a reaction to the Bravecto I gave him to keep ticks and fleas away. You fucking think? By the gods. If he is no better in the next few days, I will have to take him to the vet. He is okay otherwise, eating, drinking, peeing. We even had a short walk yesterday, but I will keep an eye on him. Update. 5 years later, that should say 1st of August 2023. He was euthanised due to a splenoid mass and a floating bladder tumour. I stopped giving him Bravecto, but I suspect the damage had already been done. So it's been a strange few months. I'm struggling with my own level of hypocrisy. Several months ago, after witnessing a small Asian woman being kicked on the dance floor, I defended her, then left the casino in a great flourish of righteous anger. I swore never to go back there, although I had been a loyal customer for 7 years. Ended up going to that toxic waste dump for 12 years, but anyway, there is that. Won't be making that mistake ever again, will I, people of Earth? Finally learned, have some fucking dignity and pride in myself, not crawl back after abusers, including abusive dance spaces. When I returned 5 weeks ago, I was welcomed back by my friends, who stated that they missed me. The woman I defended so honourably was present last week and actually hissed at me like a viper. This is how fucking crazy they all are and why it was a waste of my efforts even being in that space. So much for putting myself on the line for another woman's honour. You know, people just fucking suck. But I rose above it. My intentions were honourable, and it was not just about her, but ensuring that all women are defended and or protected and or validated in that dance space, which can at times be feral. I'm talking here about the live wire bar at the Treasury Casino, which I don't know if they have another live wire bar in the new casino or if it's been disbanded completely and there'll be another dance space called something else. I wouldn't know because I'm not going back, but that whole space is now void and defunct and closed down on that historic heritage building. So since I've been back, comma, that should be a comma. So since I've been back, there have been notable changes with the parking situation, and I have observed security guards carefully monitoring my rapid cycling moods as I deal with complex trauma and potential abusers on the dance floor. They watch me like a hawk, as though I was the problem, am I right? The chutzpah of it. It's just outrageous. I go in to defend another woman in danger. They treat me like I'm the leper. Wow. Anyway, it doesn't matter now, does it? You know, fuck them. Here I write, I don't mind. If I lose my temper as I did when security staff did not have my back a few months ago, it is for a higher purpose than they realise, albeit possibly also a side effect of my defunct gallbladder, i.e. my bile is rising. And after, I used to make a joke of that, but it's not actually funny because it's actually what happens. And bile rising in your body causes you to be more angry than usual. You know, you have a shorter fuse on your temper. And I don't have that problem anymore. I control my temper, but, you know, still, there's a line you don't cross with me sometimes. Anyway, i.e. my bile is rising, and after decades of foul, vicious, callow abuse, I no longer remain silent or blind to it, but speak out, and bloody well, too right. Such is the legacy of a warrior goddess, channeling my personal Bodhisattva, or Xena, or wonderful woman, as in Wonder Woman. Why? Because I embody survival, and my intention is thrival. Thriving, by the way. Not just for me, but for all those women and men who were pushed down by society for being different or bearing the stain of victimhood from early childhood. We deserve better from our world. So much, much better. It starts with self-love, self-respect, and that thing called integrity. Integrity to truth, decency, and the Tanya's way, which may not be anyone else's way, but I am rebuilding and reforming like liquid gold and embodying my spirit in a way that nourishes my older, slowly decaying body and ever blossoming, swirling mind. Anyway, yesterday afternoon I returned to another scene of a perfect crime that the Tanya had promised herself to never go back to. The former Beit Knesset Shalom, now Beit Or Shalom, accompanied by my worthy mentor and champion, my beautiful, brave Sally Castle. We are both daughters of Dutch concentration camp survivors, so we share a kinship of survival that is unique in many ways. Her biological mother and my de facto stepfather, Kees van der Graft. So, I mean, he was in my life from the time I was 8.5, because we met him on the cruise ship returning back to New Zealand. So, it's a long time. Not worthy of being a father to me for obvious reasons I've delineated many times before in my videos, but that was one of my many fathers, and that was my childhood, and he was indeed a concentration camp survivor of Mittelbau-Dora and Nordhausen. So Sally saw my posts struggling with my ever-diminishing sense of belonging to the tribe of Israelites, and lovingly brought me back to the place that had both viciously attacked me and my German mother, then had provided us with respect and recognition when in 1992 and or 1993, student Rabbi Dana Evan Kaplan had been giving intense academic lessons on Reform Judaism, and my mother Gisela had soaked up the lessons like a desiccant sponge on a high tidal beach. She had adored his young but incredibly brilliant mind, and for his part, he truly seemed to adore her clever, acerbic wit. He actually came to my non-Jewish mother for wise counsel on how to deal with this blighted, smited, nasty community, at a funeral no less. Now, my mother was highly intelligent, if not educated, because of Zavor, you understand, darlings, and could be incredibly wise. Life skills after decades of surviving her own mentally ill mother, the Depression, World War II, horrible, vicious men, my own stepfather, the philanderer, working like an obsessed Trojan due to insatiable greed, addiction to work, etc., with her own complex trauma issues. Unfortunately, for her 2 children and grandchildren, her wisdom and compassion and love did not extend to us. I bore the brunt of her narcopathy for decades, and because she was my mother, my only mother, I allowed her, by inviting her to my space, my shul, as in temple, my relationships, to invade every aspect of myself until I began to die. She wanted even the breath from my soul. She was competitive, greedy, and vicious. She slandered me in my own Jewish community. This was held still evident when I witnessed Sam on the beamer staring at me balefully, and Georgie doing the same from the back of the shul. Well, yeah. I don't let the haters get to me, as I have been subjected to so many vicious attacks by my former Jewish husband, family, and subsequent lovers, former friends, and even my own mother. Then what is a bit of evil side-eye amidst a congregation? Indeed. The Holy One must have found the whole thing very funny. With each nasty look cast in my direction, I uttered the words, Kadosh, 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 holy, 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 and tried not to giggle as, for the love of all things holy, it was Yom Kippur, which is Day of Atonement, one of the holiest days in our religious year. And inside the sanctuary, but somewhere in that roof, the Dybbuk had her way and held her sway. Gisela Shin, is that you? As the list of Yizkor names found its way to me, with her name waiting for me to call her out and empower or acknowledge her. Interesting. The curse is doing strange things. The synchronicity of that weird event was not lost on me. Sally said her name for me, then turned to me and said, "She can't hurt you anymore." Ah, but she can. Meine kleine Mutter, die alte Hexe, my little mother, the old witch. She can find the most magical, spiritual ways to remind me of who she was to me and whom I am yet to fully shuck off. If ever, as her blood and DNA still swills in my veins, and a million detoxes will not erase her, as I read somewhere that every little girl carries their mother and grandmother and so on through the line in our wombs. We actually pass on, I think, through the eggs to our granddaughters, carry our grandmother's remaining eggs or some weird thing. I can't remember how that works, but it was quite astonishing actually, how you cannot easily get rid of the matrilineal DNA or mitochondria or something like that. It's quite astonishing. Well, the gods and a worthy gynecologist excised my defunct prolapsed womb, but no matter. Energy is energy, and I am still a daughter. Also a mother of the next generation that carry, or rather choose to embody, the crass, evil psychopathology. What good is survival if it turns you into a monster, I wonder. So here I sit, trying not to become my own monstrosity and perversity. The hypocrite who returns to spaces that debased and betrayed her, but with a noble spirit, head high, looking my enemies right in the eye, as I did no wrong. I am not the least bit ashamed, and if God is also never on my side, then that is okay with me. Toxic love and toxic family was my legacy. But every day I cleave to my own truth and my own inner goddess, and surround myself with people who genuinely have my back, the ones that rip out the arrows from my flesh one by one, then cast me up on strong shoulders and throw me back into the fray. If I shall die of anything in this God-forsaken, misbegotten life, let it be for my own precious truth. Integrity slipped third base, but Mama T is on the home straight. Love is the law. Copyright the Tanya, Jew, Viking, witch, psychedelic dreamer. Can add shaman to that as well. Tanya Desiree Aarons. Tomorrow I'll be attending Crystal's car park stall and/or exhibit in the city, which she will use to promote her new theatre company, Lady Maid Entertainment, to runs from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. I think I will take the bus in, as parking is so expensive in the CBD. Hopefully my lungs won't betray me. I'm looking forward to it, as I rarely spend time in the city, and I'm always proud of my daughter's achievements. Indeed I am. Just going to check. Oh no, he's gone. My neighbour across the road came with a great massive big trailer, and he often likes to park right in front of my house for some obscure reason. Just worried that he was going to block my drive, but he hasn't. He's moved on down the road, so all good babies. He's a very nice neighbour. Like, I'm not having any wars with him or anything. Just wondered what he was planning on doing in that moment, because he just stopped in the middle of the road. 20th of September 2017. Thank you to all my friends who phoned me and messaged me with words of loving comfort last night. You are beautiful. God bless you all. I'm grateful and happy to have such wonderful people in my life. Yes, I am. I'm grateful to have all my friends in my life, and very, very grateful. Tonight heralds Rosh Hashanah, Jewish New Year. Another turning, another unfoldment, another promise to the universe and to all earthlings. We begin again. We forgive the past and past attachments, and peer over the mountain and look into the soul of the earth and glide over the valleys, those shadowy havens of delight. We swim across vast oceans and gather up our soul's yearnings and soul's rejoicing, and breathe new life and light into desiccated, ill-begotten, forgotten deserts of the heart and mind. We unravel the secrets of the heart that were locked and tangled in prisons of betrayal, grief and loss. Long streams of silken, glowing beauty stream from our eyes, and our mouths declare only the glorious story of hearts that cleaved to God and became their own gods and goddesses, their own vainglorious, victorious, righteous, mighty, love, eternal, their own recreators of lives that were torn apart by snakes and vermin and terror. We can rebuild them, and so each day, each year, we turn with each season, and this is spiritual, and this is magic, and this is the epitome of perfection in an imperfect world. Love others, but leave behind those who lied and cheated and scorned and betrayed. Let them sleep in the dust. Don't try to drag them with you. Your work is done, beautiful, blessed child of light. Shine on, gleam, fear no man, woman, but God. Love is the law, love and more love. I welcome all the blessings to come, all the true loves, and all the peace. Lashana Tova Tekatevu, may we be inscribed in the book of life for a good year, a year of peace, joy, love, justice, abundance, good health, surrounded by authentic, true loves, human and non-human, smiled upon and raised up by the gods of mercy, light, love. The Holy One, blessed be his name, exists with and without us, but it is up to each of us to remember who we are and what we stand up for. Amen. And of course, this year Rosh Hashanah doesn't begin till the evening of the 2nd of October. But here we were celebrating. I even had candles. I went to buy candles the other day, but they're $54 for a packet of 72 and can't quite afford it at this present moment in time, so I don't think I'll be worrying too much about it, my darling ones. I might get them later or I might not. At the moment I've got a parking fine to pay off, and I've got to get myself some of my debts down that I ran up with the needing a new windscreen. So Shabbat candles or high holiday candles are not high on my list of priorities. So there is that. But however, I am blessed and I am grateful, and very likely if it falls on a Friday night, I'd be out dancing as a Viking Jewish heathen witch shaman anyway on the holiest night. So I don't think lighting a candle or two will make much difference to the state of my soul right now, but don't worry, I'm still a good and decent woman, and I just worship through the modality of my wild dance, which is pretty weird to the uninitiated because it involves a few Jack Daniels and some pretty intense moshing and hooping and singing loudly and uproariously and dancing wildly and fending off drunk men. So there is that. It's a very unusual way to pray for most people, but it seems to work for me. And I used to pray traditionally as a traditional Jew with great kavana, and that too had its season. And now I have my own walk and my own ways, and they work best for me. Putting deep emotion into things and manifesting with power and great love is that too is a way of communicating with God and all manifestations, the gods, the angels and the ancestors that love us, who by Belinda's generosity even gifted me fleece from Dumfries in Scotland. So wonderful Celtic and or Viking connection there. 20th September 2016. Today is such a beautiful day, and on top of all that, I woke up happy. I had interesting dreams of being confronted by ex-lovers' girlfriends. Lol. Yesterday I dreamt of David Davidson asking me to look after his wife in her grief, as if I would piss on that bastard if she was on fire after what they put me through. So it was a very strange dream to then have her husband begging me to nurture and protect and care for her when she is an avowed enemy of mine. Bit odd, but it's probably his own manifestations of guilt, since he was such a dead shit while he was alive, and I was picking up on that very likely too. This morning's dream was about my current love interest. In the dream I was devastated, but I resolved to rise above the bullshit, even in the dream, then woke up feeling beautiful, powerful, and, rather ironically, loved. I think my angels have been recalibrating me again. Sleep is such a wonderful gift. So many resolutions and healing happens in my sleep and while I dream. Yesterday's reminder of my father-in-law Harry and how hard I had to work for mere scraps of love tempered by lashings of abuse served up for decades. So just for today, I resolve to stop striving so hard to attain what should flow to me naturally in abundance as a great and beautiful, joyous gift that blesses and ennobles me for the rest of my days and nights here on earth. I deserve real, long-lasting, generous, soulful, comforting, passionate, and faithful love. Wow, I don't always get what I want or even need, but the heart knows best. God is watching and hopefully smiling upon me. I have burned with enough love to fire several solar systems, and now I am spent. Not quite, but almost. To infinity and beyond. Thanks, Kylie. Kiss. All glamorous again. She'd done my hair. 20th of September 2015, 6:30 p.m, finally awake. Wow, better get up, lock up the hens, feed the cats and enjoy the night to myself. Miss Sophie is curious about the bath water. So here she is perched on the side of the bath and looking down into the bath. Bear in mind this was about just under a month after my suicide attempt, and it happened in the bath. So every time I had a bath for months, for about 6 months after that event, both Penny and Sophie and Socks, well, all of them actually, but in particular Penny and Sophie, would freak the fuck out because they thought that I was going to be dead there. So I'd run a bath and get in the bath and they'd climb up on the side of the bath to make sure that nothing stupid was about to happen, and nothing self-immolating was about to happen. And I'd have to reassure them, like, Mama's okay, just having a bath, nothing's going on. And then they would kind of relax. Here I write, in a relationship with Harvey Nielsen. It's rather platonic, but not long on conversation. But he likes a bit of a chat, plenty of cuddles. He was one of the biggest loves of my life, Jared's dog, Harvey. And he was Jared's biggest love of his life too. Can't quite see me because of Charlie's tail, but there it is. Me snuggling with little Harvey, who's like all the animals that have gone up to Valhalla, he's greatly missed. Here's some more shots of Sophie being Sophie, making sure Mama T's behaving herself. "6:22 a.m. Just had a Skype with Crystal Girl. I used to call her, that was my nickname for her, Crystal Girl. Oh well. It was nice to catch up. Time to sleep. Snuggled in with Harvey. He acted out while I was out by pooing on the lounge floor, peed on the fridge, and made a nest on my bed with my shoes, his leash, a pair of my knickers, a dress, and weirdest of all, a pink Bic lighter. So I have been punished Harvey the Jack Russell style. Everything cleaned up, and now for making up snuggles. Spoilt little neurotic bugger. He and I are like twin souls with our really bad nerves and need to be comforted, laughing my ass off. I have him for 2 more days, then Jared will reclaim him. Harvey time is precious time. Even the cats seem to appreciate having him around. All very harmonious, chez moi. He really was a lovely little fellow. 4:26 a.m, home safe, foot sore, grr. Had to take ankle boots off to walk to the car. Ran into Ron outside the casino, where I had hung out chatting with George and some friends of his. Ron chivalrously walked me to my car. Now soaking in Epsom salts. Oh my God, I really need the magnesium hit. I had a lovely night with Karen at the Elephant, dancing to Ramjet. Then we got tired and sore, so we drove to the Treasury. I wanted to know if I had been banned. Apparently not. But when we got upstairs, there was no disco. They scrapped the live bands and disco until the 1st of November while the football is on. Say what? Lunatics. Oh well, I put $10 in the pokies. They changed my favourite machine for some more modern thing I didn't really understand. I didn't win. No biggie. I'm gone a month and everything falls apart, laughing my ass off. And it's not like I played pokies very often anyway, so couldn't care less. But it just was amazing how many things changed in that 1 month that I was gone. Oh well, I like the bands at the Elephant better. I met a young lass when I first arrived. She complimented me on my outfit. I thanked her. Then she bought me a shot of Patron, my suggestion, as I hate Jägermeister vomit puke, and a glass of Jack Daniels. Very generous of her. She was a lovely young lass. So I invited her to dance with Karen and I. We had a lot of fun. By 1:30 a.m, Karen and I were sitting down, both with sore tootsies, so we decided to see what my status at the casino was. All good. They even printed me a new membership card. Pity I still have the huge fine to pay that they instigated a month ago. Bygones, I guess. I just have to keep doing my thing, dancing, enjoying life, and being audacious. Should not have even gone back after what they did to me, but, you know, I was younger then and more forgiving. 20th of September 2014, 7:28 a.m. Awake because like a dumbass I didn't take my Seroquel. So my brain went, chugga chugga hugga bugger, it's all about the bass, no trouble, all night. Well, the last 3 hours. Penny woke me a couple of times and I pissed her off by belching away my acid reflux and my hiatus hernia. So sexy. Cat love is immune to loud nocturnal sounds of the gastric kind, although at one point even she gave me the evils of the cat equivalent of "shut the fuck up, mama." Dying slowly is so graceless. I am glad I had a great night out though. Antonio turned up late and was such a clown that Shauna and I were laughing at him. He insisted in his non-verbal way, use your words, Antonio, that I dance with him, and even though my feet hurt from dancing all night, I favoured him, and he completed our little ritual of kissing cheeks Italian style 3 times. So funny. He loves that. He's not even Italian. He's a Kurd from northern Iraq. His real name's Hassim. But anyway, you get that, don't you? Odd. Ron and Chrissy were there, and when Wasabi played Zombie, my favourite moshing song, he gently stepped behind me and danced with me and copied all my movements, and when the lyrics said, "They are fighting," he sang them into my ear, as he knows I am a fighter and a survivor, and why that song is so meaningful to me. I thought that was really sweet. Out of all the men I've met at the pub, Ron really gets me. I'm blessed to have a nice friendship with him. I love watching him and Chrissy dance. They are so attuned to each other, and it makes me happy to see people love each other, themselves, and the world around them. Chrissy told me it's both their birthdays soon. Hers on October 31st, Halloween, and his on November 22nd. Crystal's is on November 6th. A lovely time for Scorpios. Although I think that Ron being on November 22nd is no longer a Scorpio. I think it's already into Sagittarius, am I right? I think so. Anyway, lovely couple. Some random and pleasant fellow demanded Shauna and I pose for a photo with him. I saw no harm in it, so we did. We will be back tonight to support Burst with bells on, but now I must drink my tea, cuddle my cat, and sleep. I let the chickens out. Although there has been no crowing yet, I was surprised to observe Mischief attempting to hump his mother. A rooster, all right. I won't get rid of him until he starts making the usual rooster noises. He is so cute, and perhaps he might father another clutch of fertilized eggs. 20th of September 2013. This is in response to a meme. I'm going to buy you tons of flowers and jewellery for no reason until we get married. Then it's all over and you get to fold my laundry. It's pretty much how it works, babies. Anyway, I saw the funny side of it and I wrote, wait, you get jewellery and flowers? To be fair, my former husband bought me 8 orchid sprays in our nascent romance, before he quit romancing the Tanya. At 17, I was impressed by that. What I didn't know, I learned the hard way on the coalface and sludge pile of my life only a short time later. For fuck's sake. Which is why I grow my own flowers and tenderly tend to my own garden of delights. Amen, sister. 6 a.m. Good morning. Haven't slept yet. Watched Gatekeepers, which depressed me no end. Fiddled about on iTunes trying to get songs as ringtones with very little success. Fiddled with some old crusty unsellable necklaces to decorate my spare bed with. The night flew by without me achieving anything major. I also picked up Crystal and lent her my car, which was serviced and washed by Mazda yesterday. Woohoo. I had dinner with Lynn also. She made tacos, which were yummy. I bought more laying mash for the girls and some shell grit, so I have let them out to forage while I sleep the rest of today away, laughing out loud. 20th of September 2011. Sunset, a new day, a new beginning, a new recognition, a new paradigm. These fulsome bright red orbs I'm seeing each evening remind me of my own new direction in life. Not sure where I'll end up, but these fiery balls in the night sky make me think of the phoenix rising from the ashes, or the burning bush that could not be consumed, or my own fiery spirit seeking union with the world at large and enjoying the gifts of the universe. The photos I took the other day of the red sun sitting on the Pacific Highway was a poignant moment of bliss for me. Amongst the dirt and pollution of the concrete jungle, the eternal light of our sun nestled for several seconds as if a floating red balloon on the dross and mundanity of our earth, truly a thing of fleeting magnificence. Yet here she is again, our bright blazing star, which feeds us with her light and love. I must remember Icarus and strive not to fly too high to her scathing burning fire, but on the other hand, it's time I learnt to fly at all. Vanity, vanity, all is vanity, but alas, there is nothing new under the sun. The wheel of fortune keeps turning, and I'm running upside down as fast as I can, but for the first time, in many, many years of my life, I'm enjoying being on the flip side, and my life, my purpose, is starting to make a little more sense. Wildness, freedom, individuality are my core values these days. I will not be consumed. I will not lay down and die, even though I have wanted to, way too many times. Perhaps the remainder of my life will be my final melding of my soul's journey, the final brushstrokes and polish of the great master's unique creation. I pray it will be good. I think I shared this photo yesterday, but anyway, here it is again. The sun just perched on top of the fence line, which it's just kind of an illusion, but it just struck me as a bit magical. Sunset over Pacific Highway, Springwood view from McDonald's restaurant. Today I spent all my money stocking up on food and personal hygiene stuff. I had to juggle several bills, so kind of freaking out about my lack of financial acumen. Hard to be savvy when there is no gravy. Apart from that, it was another awesome day in paradise. I took another photo of another red setting sun, and I'm inspired by the beauty and the loveliness surrounding me. Yes, I am, still to this day. 20th of September 2010. I'm feeling a little drab and miserable after the past 3 days' happiness. I wonder if it's because of the grey, rainy day, or because I burnt myself out from being a tad too happy for a change. It was fun though, freaking out the people who aren't accustomed to joy. Oh! And thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. And it's now 4:03 p.m. Brisbane time, and I'm thinking I might sit out in the garden with Miss Charlie, who's been assiduously keeping me company while I made this video, but she hasn't been in the garden today, so we'll sit out and have a bit of fun outside, and then evening shall come, and I really think I need to have a little nap before I go dancing today. I've had a lovely day, but I'm a bit tired now. So before I go dancing tonight, I need to build up some more energy for the wild shamanic dance, babies. And I'm looking forward to dancing tonight as always. And wherever you are in the space-time continuum on planet Earth, have a beautiful, bright, blessed day, night, afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. And as always, God and Goddess bless. Bye for now.